What is going on, Washington Commander fans? This is another video coming at you from Washington Command Post. My name is Commander Blank, and we have some news on who is buying or not buying the team. So there's news that came out today that someone named Brian Davis, used to play basketball for Duke and used to play basketball for the Minnesota Timberwolves, has come forward with a bid of $7 billion for the Washington Commanders. They also said in this report that he apparently has $9.2 billion in pocket in case the bid has to be a little bit higher. Okay, and it was also reported that the highest bid up to this point was like $5.9 billion or something like that. Okay, so I got some opinions on this. I was listening to Street Scores, and he was just reporting it, so he did not have an opinion on it or anything. He was reporting it that Brian Davis has a history of not having money ready when it comes to buying something. He apparently has $7 billion with investors, but he has a history of not paying. And after hearing that report, I kind of have a theory on this. And I think my theory is this. I think Brian Davis is set to be a run-up. He's meant to run up the price to get someone to outbid him to get Dan Snyder more money. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so auction houses do this sometimes. If they got a lot of hot items and they want to get them sold, they'll plant people in the crowds to bid with people, get a bidding war started, and jack up the price of whatever they're selling. Okay, I believe this guy is here to do the exact same thing. I think he is here strictly to jack up the price of the Washington Commanders. Here's why. One, if the highest bid prior to his $7 billion bid is 5.92, why would you go over $1 billion higher bid than the last bid? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just make it $6 billion and have him outbid you again? Okay, I guess it's possible. Maybe he's just trying to scare everyone off and just make it him as the last man standing. It's possible, but it doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? If you're a businessman, it makes sense kind of that he's has all his issues with money in the past. If he legitimately has an issue, a situation where he only has to bid $6 billion, which is $100 million more than the last bid, to outbid the guy, but he decides to go all the way to $7 billion. It doesn't make sense. No business guy is going to go that, except for maybe Jeff Bezos, because Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world. Okay, this guy's not. He's got investors. He got $9.2 billion. Okay, in his pocket to buy the team. Okay, I 100% believe this, that he's not there to actually buy the team. He's there to jack up the price for someone else to buy the team for more expensive than the price they were sitting at. Okay, it doesn't make any sense for a businessman at all, anyone with investment money, to pay $1 billion over the highest price already bid. Pay $200 million or whatever it is, and get yourself to $6.1 billion, or $100 million, get yourself $6 billion. Doesn't make sense that you would go that far over the bidding price, the recently highest bid. Does not make sense to me at all. The only time it will make sense is Jeff Bezos. He has money to throw around. Okay, this guy with investors has $9.2 billion. Okay, I don't know if he has more. I doubt it. They're being specific on the fact that it's saying that it's $9.2 billion. Why would they release that information? Why would that information be relevant to the sale of this team unless they were trying to drive up the price? That's all I'm trying to say there. So it does not make sense to me. Comment down below what you think, because it doesn't make sense to me that a businessman would have $9.2 billion. You'd want to save that, because guess what? They're going to have a stadium they got to buy and replace or fix or whatever you want to call it. Okay? They have a stadium they have to buy. So why would you want to spend more than you have to when you're going to have to spend money almost immediately over the next couple of years to fix the stadium and pay for contracts that are going to be have to be paid out on your watch, and so on and so on and so on and so forth. Right? So it doesn't. To me, it doesn't make sense. Maybe to someone else it does, but to me, it doesn't make sense for someone who is an investor of sorts to come in and say, "I got $9.2 billion. You're bidding $5.9 billion, and I'm going to bid $7 billion, $1.1 billion higher than what you're bidding." Doesn't make any lick of sense to me. it doesn't make any sense at all. If it makes sense to you, tell me why it makes sense to you. But the only thing I can think of is maybe he's just trying to outbid everyone and scare everyone off, and he ends up getting it. But I really think he's there to run up the price. He put 7.7 million or 7 million down, and so someone's going to come up with 7.5 or 8 maybe. Okay, I don't know why you would just go billion at a time on your bidding, but 7.5 billion makes sense to me. That seems like a good price to go next. But I really think he's just there to jack up the price. They wouldn't tell you those informations unless it was relevant. Why is $9.2 billion relevant? Is he going to spend that much total? If that's the case, why didn't you spend $9.2 billion on the team? That would totally scare off everyone else and leave him the last man standing with the team. Okay, you're not spending that extra $2.2 billion because why? You don't want to overspend for the team. Okay, but you're already overspending if the highest bid is already lower, is already $1.1 billion less than yours. So that's my opinion. That's my theory. Not a long video. Not a lot to talk about with Washington. Just kind of waiting. There's a lot of free agent stuff. But I'll talk about that in one big video that I do later before the draft. Just been busy with my other channel, so that's why. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And like, share, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. It's Commander J Plank. And I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good one, and